So I'm out skateboarding right now, mainly because I wanted to test out this microphone I'm using. I've been using it for the last week and a bit. And this is Maono's Wave T5 wireless lav. They are currently sponsoring today's video, but I wanted to put it to a real test out and about skating because there's wind, there's my wheels on the ground, and just the general loudness of the environment. And I want to test out a couple features like the audio quality, noise cancellation, some of the other features that I'm going to go through. But yeah, having already used this for the last week and a bit, it's easy to say lav mics have gotten really flipping good. Now, what makes this a little bit more special is that it actually sounds really flipping good. Again, I've been testing this with all my content over the last week and a bit, and it's incredibly affordable. Now, who's going to need this microphone? Really, honestly, anybody who's just looking to sort of improve the audio quality on your content. Now, I've said this in the past when it comes down to anybody's sort of content. If your video quality is the best in the world, absolutely amazing, but your audio is trash, chances are not a lot of people are going to watch that. The opposite, however, if your audio is really good, even if you're shooting on a potato, you're shooting, 720p or whatever the case may be, if your audio's supreme, people will watch your video. Now, I got a couple goals today. The first thing is to A, find out if I can skateboard being in my 30s, and B, if this microphone is actually decent. Now, there are a couple important specs here. There's going to be, AI noise cancellation. The audio quality is going to be, 24-bit, 48 kilohertz, all the fun stuff when it comes down to audio quality. And one of the primary things is that this has a range of 1,000 yards, which is, 300 meters or so. But I'm going to put that to the test. I'm going to my skate park. Don't expect good skateboarding because I'm trash. I'm just doing this for fun, and we'll see how it goes. So right now I'm skateboarding around, and I sort of want to test the noise cancellation. So right now I think it's noise cancellation is on, and I just turned it off. So if you hear any sort of wind or my wheels on the ground, this is what it sounds like. And again, I just turned it on again to hear how the noise cancellation actually sounds. And once I get to the skate park, I'm going to sort of skate around a bit, test out the range. And again, I turned noise cancellation off, and now it's back on. But yeah, there's a noise cancellation test. I'll test that out a little bit more later on, as well as the audio quality in a more controlled environment when I get back home. But later on, I'm going to sort of mess around with my guitar in my basement and do my normal video talking A-roll head setup, and we'll see how that sounds in the basement. But for now, I'm just going to catch some more sun, test out the range, and skate around a bit more. So let's see how that goes. So right now I'm literally just skateboarding around to actually test out the quality of this mic. I'm going to go around the park a bit, try a little, pop shove. Oh! Easiest trick of skateboarding. How this goes. Oh my gosh. I haven't done this in literally like 10 years. Okay. The same pop shove. All right, let's hear how good this sounds. Whoa, so there's wind and everything between. Let's see how it goes. There we go. Okay. I landed a 360 flip before I landed a kick flip. Wild. Crazy part is that there's all this traffic going by. So I don't know how the actual audio sounds. I'm hoping the noise cancellation does a good job because I haven't tried it outside yet, so we'll see how that is. Typically my microphones would pick up all this traffic, but I just turned on noise cancellation, so we'll see how that actually sounds. Anyhow, my energy is fading, so I'm going to go ahead and try and land 3 more 360 flips and head home. And I think later I'm going to test out again in my studio to see how it sounds in a controlled environment with my normal A-roll setup. And I'll probably bust out some guitar, see how that sounds to the microphone. And then I'll showcase the features through the Maono Link app, because there's an app that you can use for your smart devices. So right now I'm testing out the Pixel 10 Pro. Awesome flipping device, mind you. So I'm going to record some footage on that, as well as test out the microphone on there, and my iPhone 13 mini. So yes, I had a good time skateboarding and realized how much it hurts to skateboard in your 30s when you haven't done it in a while. But apart from that, it also turns out that the microphone quality of this is actually pretty excellent. So I had a chance to sort of edit up the first half of this video last night, and it actually kind of surprised me with the audio quality. But more so than the audio quality, I was actually sort of surprised and impressed with the noise cancellation. Now, as you saw yesterday, I was literally skateboarding around next to a super busy road. So you got the wind, my skateboard, myself, and everything in between. And the noise cancellation did a great job at sort of removing all the noise clutter. So yeah, that was just a huge bonus for myself. In terms of how I actually connected yesterday, again, I'm using my Fuji camera here with the cold shoe transmitter with the 3.5 millimeter cable. And I just connected the actual mic itself directly to my shirt. And I actually noticed after the fact that I wasn't even using the wind guard. So I'm sure that probably would have helped out yesterday, but at least it gives a good idea of how it sounds without it. And just for reference as well, I'm not going to do any sort of post processing on the actual audio in this video. Now, in terms of how you actually want to mount the microphone, that's totally going to be up to your preference. In every one of my videos, I always just have it directly to my shirt, just because it's easy. I'm going to clip it on and off. But in the actual package, there are 2 magnetic necklaces you can place. So if you're going to, switch subjects, you don't want to reach under shirts and all that, you can use the necklace that's magnetic. Otherwise, there are 2 clips as well. You can use that if you want to connect it to something like an object or a hat or something. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. Now, in terms of the actual audio quality, this is going to be 48 kilohertz, 24-bit audio, which is going to be excellent in terms of any sort of wireless audio. And it's going to be more than sufficient for something like this. Again, I'm doing my YouTube videos. I'm not in any sort of crazy studio setting. Just my basement, no treated walls or any of that stuff, and it still sounds pretty good. So yeah, this A-roll setup now, this is what you're hearing. Again, no post-processing. So let me know what you guys think of the audio quality. This entire time I realized I've never done a comparison in audio quality. So right now, what you're hearing is going to be the built-in microphone on my actual camera itself. And then I'm gonna swap it right now, and this is gonna be the actual microphone that I'm wearing, which is the Maono T5 Wave. So yeah, this is just a quick comparison between the built-in microphone on my actual camera and then the T5 Wave, which I'm talking through right now. Now, just for another sort of reference in terms of audio quality, I'm going to hop onto my guitar, play a song or two, just to actually get an idea of how this sounds and play around with the levels a little bit, but I'm not going to do any sort of post-processing, and this will be straight out of mic. Okay, so when it comes down to all the other ways you want to connect, again, I'm using the normal 3.5 millimeter transmitter to my camera, but there are a couple other ways. So let's say you're using a smartphone. Right now, I'm testing out the Pixel 10 Pro. There are going to be those other 2 receivers. So you have the Type-C receiver, which will pair perfectly for my Pixel 10. Otherwise, there is a Lightning receiver, which you can put on something like an older iPhone if you have it. That's going to come in handy for myself, at least, because I do still have an iPhone 13 mini, which is rather old, but that's the only other iPhone I have currently. Now, if you are using something like a smartphone, when you hop into the Maono Link app, there's going to be a lot of options there that you can sort of play with in terms of your preference. There's going to be, the actual gain levels that you're going to be recording with. On the transmitter itself has a dial for the gain, but otherwise, if you do want to swap the gain on your smartphone, you're going to be using the application. Now, separately from that, of course, you can change the different levels of noise cancellation between slight, aggressive, or something that's more custom across like the 14 levels. Then there are going to be some, voice changes if you want something like husky, if you want to sound a little bit, more romantic like myself. I'm kidding, but there are going to be some options there if you do want to change your actual voice, and the application is going to give you a little bit more tweaking to your audio depending on how you want it to be done. Overall, though, the actual application is pretty basic. It's just nice to have those additional options. And a quick mention to the 2 transmitters that you use on your smartphone is that there is a Type-C port on each of those transmitters if you do need to charge your device while actually filming, because that is going to be eating up your either your Lightning or your Type-C port. So that pass-through will allow you to charge if you need it. Now, as for what's in this entire package, you're going to get a little travel pouch if you do need to use that. Otherwise, everything comes in a hard shell case. Now, within that whole case, there are going to be a couple accessories. Namely, the first thing is going to be the 3.5 millimeter cable, which is what I'm using currently, alongside 2 wind guards. And then there's going to be the 2 transmitters that you're going to be using for either your iPhone or a Type-C device. And then there's those 2 magnetic clips I mentioned that are going to be used for, your hat or something if you need to attach the microphone to an object. Now, inside the actual charging case, you do have the transmitter, which I'm using on my camera now, alongside the actual 2 wireless mics. In terms of actual battery life, each mic is going to have 9 hours of battery, and that can be extended up to like 30 hours if you pop them back into your charging case every now and then. For myself, I don't realistically see myself burning through 9 hours of actual battery life on the mic, so the actual carrying case is super handy in that sense. Now, overall, who's this mic for and what are the actual use cases? Honestly, the main thing is going to come down to really just anybody who's looking to sort of up their audio game. It's going to be good for YouTube creators like myself. If you're going to be some sort of vlogger, if you're looking to do any sort of multi-person interviews, if you just need a microphone at a range, this is pretty much going to cover you. The noise cancellation is fantastic. The audio quality is great. The range is going to be great. So it's going to be a little bit handier for anybody who doesn't want to fuss with a stationary microphone. For myself, regardless of what I'm doing, I just prefer the ease of having a wireless lav. So that's what I've used on my last 50 videos, and I'm probably going to continue using this one as my main one. I will say as well, if the T5 has a lot of stuff that you don't really need, you could always opt for something like the T1 Mini, which does just give you 2 basic smaller wireless lavs and a transmitter in either your choice of Lightning or Type-C. The audio quality is still going to be excellent on there, and it will still have all its own settings in the Maono Link app if you are connecting this through Android or iOS or something. That is going to be a more tamed down version. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this microphone. If you guys have any questions, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. Again, I do want to give a huge thanks to Maono for sponsoring today's video. If you guys have any questions, be sure to lay it on me down below in the comment section. Appreciate watching till the end. Till next time.